Welcome to Rauta's Non-Metal Sunday. This time I have here a split release, which is a project released by a metal label, Bestial Burst, and the other one of these Finnish projects is indeed a metal band spin-off. So let's give this one a look. This is called Esoteric Ambience, and it features two Finnish non-metal collaborations, projects, whatever you want to call them. One of them is Temple of Tiermes, and this is curiously enough recorded in 1994 and 2000, so already very old material. And then we have this kind of a solo project by 5217, which is a solo project by a black metal band artist with this kind of a spin-off. And here you have all the necessary information. As you can see, Temple of Tiermes has here quite a lot of interesting instruments. Mostly it's, however, by unholy member spin-off band, but still more than one member. And then we have Nico Behemoth Thomasson doing the stuff here. He's mostly known for his work in bands called Aske and Vornat and other artists or bands. And here we have not Metal Archives, obviously, because it's not really a metal release, but more about ambience meeting power electronics, meeting noise, ritual music, etc. Now, as such, this is kind of hard to put into one box. You know, you don't really get to label it just one word and get away with it, because in fact, three tracks per project, is featured on this compilation, and already the first track is very different from the rest of the tracks. Now this one starts with the track called Lamat, and Lamat is more than 10 minutes, something like 11 or so, and of these 45 minutes it takes quite a big chunk, and it's more like dark ambient with its very minimal nature of music. It's kind of a humming, it's kind of a non-rhythmic, obviously fully instrumental, and as such it creates a kind of a dark, sinister atmosphere, which is somewhat described as nightmarish. Well, I happen to like that kind of stuff, so I'm pretty cool with that. Now after that it changes more towards power electronics, or more like noise-like flirting, which means there's gonna be snapping sound, kind of a electronic sound. It's kind of like different snippets and samples combined together, and I don't even know how to describe all these sounds in English. I would probably figure out quite a few ways to say it in Finnish, but let's just say it's fully instrumental, not exactly rhythmic. There's, obviously no vocals, a little bit spoken parts at some points, but it's mostly what power electronics and noise operate around. But it's not too noisy, really. It's kind of having these patterns that you're working in some place where this ambience of like almost like factory kind of thing. I mean, you could hear an occasional hissing sound maybe, or some kind of tapping or knocking, or different kind of sound elements which are sometimes hard to figure out like where it is coming from, because it's probably mixed and distorted and gone through effects so many times. It's hard to say what's the original sound. It might be some something like microwave oven, it might be your water boiling machine, it could be just somebody tapping on a table and then distorting it in so many ways, etc. I'm only guessing, obviously. I'm not saying these are the exact examples. What you need to understand is when you dive into this kind of soundscape and music, it's very, very different from most of the stuff you have ever heard. And those who already know this genre, well, they are not probably watching even this review, because they already know, all right, it's power electronic. Okay, it's somewhat of a noise. And they know what to expect. And as such, they will figure out what it is, even without me describing the music. I'm just merely trying to give pointers to people who are totally clueless about this kind of stuff. Now, I have a hard relationship with or complicated relationship with the given genres, because I have enjoyed quite a few noise and power electronic shows, gigs, but when it comes to listening to these kind of music on the on an album, I find it hard for me to actually get into. I mean, those snapping sounds and hissing and popping sounds, they're really okay in a vast atmosphere when there is things happening on stage, even though it might be just, some guys fixing their equipment, the sound creating equipment, and it's kind of a somewhat even improvised at some points. There might be visual things going on, but when it comes to listening on headphones or via speakers, I don't really enjoy that. Not as much as I enjoy, say, dark ambient. And as such, I have this difficult relationship with this kind of music. While it's very, very cool, live on albums, not so much. So with this particular release, I am inclined to say I like the first track and not so much the others. It's not like they're annoying or boring, but I feel a little bit distanced from that kind of stuff. And as such, I have hard time to recommend this kind of music to people who are not already familiar with the kind of stuff. And those who are probably are not watching the review because, they're already picking up these kind of albums without anybody recommending. They just see on the list, okay, I'm gonna check it out. Well, anyway, if you get interested, you will see these two links provided in the description box of the video, so obviously you can just start listening to it. And even though you won't find this particular release right now, on Bandcamp necessarily, you will find it on YouTube, at least some samples, and maybe later on these will be updated because the actual release date for this album is 1st of February 2021. So because it's not there yet, these pages are not maybe updated with the music, but you will find it given after a couple of days. So check it out, and in case you just happen to like it, well, give it a chance, probably, and consider even buying the physical product. If not, well, at least now you know a little bit more about music, which is not very musical. Thank you for watching the review. Should you have comments or questions, put them on the comments box below and I will get back to you. Meanwhile, take care and listen to some good stuff.